Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the election of the 2026 County Warden, or Perth County Warden and Deputy Warden, the election of. My name is Tyler Sager. I'm the clerk for the County of Perth. Rachel Cannon, Deputy Clerk, will be acting today as the election assistant. Until the Warden and Deputy Warden have been elected, I'll be acting as the interim chair. This meeting of Perth County Council is now called to order. So thank you for joining us today for this important occasion. Whether you're here with us at the Arden Park or participating online through the YouTube or the Zoom, your presence is valued and appreciated. For our in-person guests, we invite you to stay following today's ceremony for a reception and light refreshments as we celebrate our newly elected Warden and Deputy Warden. Following a short recess, we will then reconvene into our regular council meeting. So before we begin, I just ask everybody to please join me for a brief moment of reflection. Thank you. We acknowledge that Perth County is situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe peoples who have a long-standing relationship with the land and water throughout the region. We honor and respect the history, languages, and culture of the diverse Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit people who call this territory home. As a county, we have a responsibility for the reconciliation and the continued stewardship of the land on which we live and work. So as we move on in today's agenda, we do have some greetings from invited guests. The first individual that we do have here, let's just get this set up, is our Member of Parliament, John Nader. We're just going to bring him into the meeting here. Excellent. There's an MP Nader there.
There we go.
Floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to join you this morning virtually from Ottawa. It's great to see County Council there, as well as past wardens and members of the community as well. I want to begin by thanking both Council and Perth County staff for all of your hard work over the past year. I've enjoyed working with so many of you on a variety of projects, and I've always appreciated the collaborative partnership that the county has truly displayed. I want to say as well, thank you to Warden Kellum. It's been great working with you, Warden, over the past 12 months, both on formal projects, but also working unofficially as well, and participating in so many community events. It's been great to get to know you a little bit better, as well as your wonderful wife Jan as well. It's been great to participate in so many events, and I thank you for your hard work. Going forward, I want to wish best wishes to the new warden and deputy warden, who I think I know who they are, but I won't preempt the will of council in the formal election. But I do wish both of them well, and I look forward to working with both of you in the coming year. Finally, I just want to say all the best. I know there are always challenges. Serving in municipal office. The phone often rings, and it's not usually people saying, thank you, keep up the good work. It's always the challenges that come when those phone calls come in. So I wish everyone well, and as we approach the Christmas season, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a safe, happy, and healthy 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you, MP Nader. All right, next we do have a video actually provided by our MPP, Matthew Ray, was unable to attend today, so we'll pull that video up.
Good morning, everyone. Matthew Ray here, your member of Provincial Parliament for Perth Wellington. Thank you to Perth County for the kind invitation to join you for the 2026 Perth County Wardens election. Unfortunately, I have to attend a standing committee right now, but together as elected officials, we have the ability to work towards a stronger and more prosperous Perth County. I want to thank Warden Doug Kellum for his leadership and service to the communities of Perth County over the past year. It's deeply appreciated. And to the new warden who will be elected today, I wish you a productive and successful year. I look forward to working with the new warden, county council, and staff in the year ahead. And of course, I want to wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, and then moving on, we have from the City of Stratford, Mayor Martin Retzma.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to see the past wardens I think about the past wardens and the experience and knowledge and the service that you've presented over the years. Thank you very much. As well, I want to thank County of Perth for your collaboration partnership over the years. And this relationship certainly was brought to light recently at our 77th Perth Municipal Day hosted by West Perth. And that was a great day or great morning of staff and elected officials coming together. So when we talk about our relationship with the county, whether it's the shared services that we collaborate with, the trade and investment trips to countries like Japan, Germany, and France, cultivating opportunities for both the county, city, and St. Mary's, or working together to promote the PC Connect, the connection between the rural part of the county and our urban, and then the first and last mile to places like Kitchener-Waterloo, Toronto, etc. We know that working together will benefit our residents and our businesses. So on behalf of the City of Stratford, I want to congratulate you on a great year. A special congratulations to Warden Kellum for a great year of service, and I look forward to working with you in 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Richmond. And next we have from the Town of St. Mary's, Mayor Al Stratton.
Morning. Thank you for the invitation this morning. On behalf of the Town of St. Mary's, I bring greetings and thank you. We have a long-standing relationship with the county. We appreciate the partnership. And as everyone knows, there's probably provincial legislation that passed this morning that no one knows what it means. Again, the change is rapid and very tough for staff. So sincerely, we appreciate the efforts in emergency services and shared services. I also think that, given the changes in the political climate, now more than ever, it's important that we work together and to move forward, because it seems that critical mass is important for the government. When we talk about housing and grants and so forth, it's important more now than ever that we try and be on the same page and work together. I would like to offer pre-offer congratulations to the new warden and the new deputy warden as they come. John alluded to the fact that you're not supposed to say, but I know Sue has been a dedicated public servant. And of course, Dean, who has served on Upper Thames and as the chair of the Municipal Association, we know he has great patience, having served on those two organizations, and will do well in the role. So thank you for standing for office. It's not the easiest time to be in public service, but we do appreciate all their efforts sincerely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Stratton. All right, moving on in our agenda, we're going to be doing an introduction of our council members. So I just ask that each member stand if able and remain standing until everybody has been introduced. Starting with the municipality of North Perth, we do have Mayor Todd Kiesenberg joining us virtually. We have Deputy Mayor Doug Kellum, Councillor Matt Duncan. Representing the Township of Perth East, we have Mayor Rhonda Agate, Deputy Mayor Hugh McDermott, and Councillor Jerry Smith. Representing the Township of Perth South, we have Mayor Sue Orr and Councillor Bob Wilhelm. And then representing the municipality of West Perth, we have Mayor Walter McKenzie and Deputy Mayor Dean Trentowski. So as everybody is aware that these are the representatives for the 2022-2026 Perth County Council. You may be seated. Thank you. Perfect. So as we move on, right now is the introduction of the past wardens. So I'm going to ask that ask the president of the Past Wardens Association, Bob Wilhelm, come forward to the podium to also present Doug Kellum, the past wardens pin for 2025. So if you'd like to come forward as well, we'll do the pin and then we'll do an introduction of the past wardens. Please.
This was. This is twist. You'll never be able to get on. Once you get on, see that. Ron puts his blue on. Yeah. Twist sauce. Okay. And twist. All right. And you will have to struggle to get it out after, I'm sure. So, it is my privilege to invest you with this pen for your acknowledgement to your past year as a warden. We appreciate the dedication and work. And like I said, it's my privilege to give you that pen that you so modestly deserve. And I will shake your hand. Okay. Okay, I don't know if I can, you don't have it up, Tyler. Well, I will attempt to introduce the past wardens that are present, and then also some that were not able to hear. So I'll ask the past wardens to stand as I recognize you, and we'll hold the applause till after. So, our newly past warden, Doug Kellum, please stand. Rhonda Agats, Walter McKenzie, myself, Ian Forrest, Julie Behrens, Ron McKay, we got Bert Bustenbach, Bert, stand up. And I think that's all the past wardens we have present. And, we'll give you a round of applause. We also had regrets from Jim Spence, Vince Judge, and John Van Bako. And that, I think, is up there, shows the years. And Tyler, we'll continue on. Thank you.
Thank you. Battery change. All right, we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way and just use our vocals. Unless you want to swing around and grab this. All right. Perfect. All right. So each year, council selects one of its members to serve as the warden for the coming term. The warden holds a position of significant responsibility as both the head of council and the chief executive officer for the county of Perth. This role carries specific legislative and procedural obligations as outlined in Section 225 of the Municipal Act 2001. As the public face of our county government, the warden must navigate diverse community expectations while recognizing the municipal decisions are collective ones, made by council working together. The position requires strong leadership, balanced and collaborative governance, ensuring that the voice of every member of council and every citizen they represent is heard and respected. Now, in past practice in Perth County, is that those who intend to seek the position of warden shall declare their intention at a county council meeting in November. Accordingly, the members of council were polled at the November 6, 2025 meeting, and Deputy Warden Trentowski declared their intent. Now, this is an opportunity for members to declare an intention to seek the office of the warden for 2026. Is there any member from council who would like their name placed on the ballot for election at this time for a position of warden? Asking a second time, is there any other member of council that would like to put their name forward for the position of warden for 2026? All right.
Yes.
Let's try that. There we go. All right. So understanding that there's only one candidate, I'm going to move forward with the declaration of the warden. I'm going to ask Deputy Warden Tronkowski to come forward as well. As a thank you. So in accordance with our procedure bylaw, I declare Dean Tronkowski as the warden of the County of Perth. Warden Tronkowski, please come forward to the podium, take the declaration of office.
Thank you, Tyler. I, William Dean Tronkowski, having been elected or appointed to the office of Warden in the municipality of County of Perth, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
At this time, I ask everyone to please congratulate our 2026 warden.
You'd be on here. Good job, Dean.
Thank you. So moving on to the declaration of intent for the deputy warden. So likewise, past practice in Perth County is that those who intend to seek the position of deputy warden shall declare their intention at the county council meeting in November. Accordingly, the members of council were polled at the November 6, 2025 meeting, and we had one individual put their name forward, Councillor Sue Orr. So I'm asking at this time if there's any other member who would like their name placed on the ballot for election for deputy warden. Asking a second time, is there any member of council that would like their name put on the ballot for the 2026 deputy warden? Understanding that if there's only one candidate, then I'll move forward with the declaration of deputy warden and ask Councillor Orr to come forward. So in accordance with the County of Perth Procedure Bylaw, I declare Sue Orr as the Deputy Warden for Perth County. We'll do the declaration of office. Declaration's there.
I, Sue Orr, having been elected or appointed to the office of Deputy Warden in the municipality of the County of Perth, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Perfect. So everyone, please congratulate our 2026 Deputy Warden, Sue Orr. Now, moving on, we look at the deputy warden, the presentation of the gavel and chain of office. So I'll ask past warden Doug Kellum to come forward and present the chain of office and gavel to warden Trentowski. So both of you could come forward, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Bring a step ladder.
My chair?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Needs to eat my bait. Yeah.
So before I hand the floor over, I just want to thank a couple of individuals that made today possible. One, the staff at Art Park for the lovely venue, putting everything together last night as well as this morning. Communications Officer Sarah Franklin for setting up all of the Zoom link and the voting that if we needed, we had it available and ready to go, so really appreciated. All of technology services staff, as you can see how important they are today with the batteries failing on us. So I appreciate them stepping in and helping out, as well as legislative services staff, Rachel Cannon and Julian Scott, again, for doing some administration work and getting today organized. So I thank everybody for coming today and assisting with today's event. With that being said, I will hand the floor over to you, Warden. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Tyler. I have a bit of a inside running joke with staff whenever I'm chairing a meeting. I always try and promise, yes, I will read the notes that they give me on the table. Sometimes I just get it. So already, the procedure's already ingrained in me. I forget to read the notes sometimes and I just go by memory. So need to find something here. So in the beginning, there was nothing but darkness. Oh, that's the wrong speech. That's wondering here. Wrong book, wrong chapter, wrong verse. So before I begin my remarks, when Tyler was mentioning the procedure, the meeting in November 6th. Same day, my father passed away 20 years ago. So it's just kind of interesting that I put my name forward on the same day that he passed away. And I go back all to a conversation I was still in public school, out behind the barn. Times were tough then. He said, son, you go out and live your life the way you want. He let me do that. And I thank him for that now. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. If I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the moment, that's partly why. And when I go do the things that I do, I carry his handkerchief with me all the time. So he's along for the ride too, because he helped put me here, along with my mom, my Aunt Gail. We're here to join me this day together. So with that, good morning, everybody. County colleagues, county staff, distinguished past wardens, special guests, and members of the media, welcome. I stand before you today to bring greetings and to express both my thanks and gratitude. Thank you for gathering today to honor and celebrate a tradition that has been carried out in Perth County since 1850. Perth County, Ontario was founded in 1850 when it was created from 11 townships from the former Huron and Wellington districts. The first warden of Perth County was a man by the name of Mr. William Smith of Downey Township, followed by another gentleman, Sebastian Freifogel of Southeast Oak in 1852. The county separated from the United Counties of Huron, Perth, and Bruce in January 1853 with the opening of its first courthouse in Stratford. If those courthouse walls could speak to us today, then imagine what story that could be told to us right now. Since 1850 and up until a few minutes ago, there have been a total of 150 wardens of Perth County. Now it's 150 plus one. If all of those past wardens were here today, then imagine the color and the verve they could add to that story. Fortunately, we are honored to have our past wardens with us today. And no doubt they can supply us with plenty of color and verve. And for any that may be running short, I'm certain that past Warden Worstenbosch would gladly offer to assist to fill in the missing details as the need arises. And as he has so demonstrated so far today. Thanks, Bert. I want to thank Warden Doug Kellam for his past year of dedication, commitment, and service to the county. Doug has worked extremely hard to represent the county with dignity, honor, and grace throughout the region, the province, and the world. As the head of council, Doug has led and guided us with a quiet, steady, and strong style of leadership like no other. His presence has been a calming and inspiring influence for us all. It has been truly a privilege and a pleasure to serve as his deputy warden in the past year. Thank you, Doug. Our year roared in like a lion, complete with the winter storm, the day of that election. As we jumped in feet first, or was it head first, or both? I can't really remember. To deal with many items of county business together, along with staff and council. Heartfelt to you, Doug, for what you have accomplished as our leader. Reflect on this past year with great pride and satisfaction on a job truly well done. We are truly grateful to you. Now it's my turn to take on the mantle of responsibility and carry on where Doug has left off. I think of past Warden Mackenzie's favorite line. First you get sworn in, then you get sworn out. In response, I will use his second favorite line. It will be all right as long as we remember to play nice together in the sandbox. This is a mantra that we both find ourselves repeating to each other every so often as we drive in together for our meetings. It's a reminder that no matter how serious the issue, no matter how rigorous the debate, and no matter how deep the disagreement on philosophy or doctrine may be, afterwards, we're all neighbors together in the same community. We still have to manage to get along and be able to work together. I could go through the large list of things to do in 2026. Budgets, policy development, capital projects, master plans, meetings and delegations, so on and so forth. On the pathway of the journey that waits before us, our biggest task and our biggest challenge for 2026 will be discovering the ability to be able to work together and achieve mutual and beneficial success together in the year ahead. Working together and putting our best and most honest efforts forward into our work for the collective good and the betterment of the county and the region. That is my single and foremost request of each and every one of us in this room today, including myself. That is the mission statement. As the 151st Warden of Perth County and the newly appointed head of council, I humbly ask each and every one of you for your help and assistance to successfully fulfill and accomplish this important mission. If Jim Aitchison were here today, I would ask him to give us all a collective poke in the ribs with his left elbow, like he used to do when we sat together at the council table, to give us a subtle yet distinct reminder of this mission statement, lest we forget amidst the busyness of doing our business together. Working together, the people inside this room right now, we have the energy, the experience, the enthusiasm, and the ability to achieve excellence together. Let's harness that. Let's instill confidence and trust in ourselves and each other to do that. Let's support each other as a team. The thousands of citizens that live in Perth County are depending on us in this room to show leadership, strength, and unity. To share some of the words that were given to me by past Warden Bob McTavish on the final day of nominations in 2014. He called me up 2 hours before nominations were to close. And he said, "Why haven't you put your name in yet? We need you to step up and carry and come forward." So I share those comments with him from that day so that we may come together and step up together collectively and come forward. The year ahead sits like a blank canvas before us. The paints are set to one side, the brush to the other. That canvas is waiting to be filled. To borrow and adapt the Bob Dylan lyrics that were covered by the Grateful Dead, someday everything is going to be different when I paint my masterpiece. Starting from here, from this moment forward, I invite everyone in this room to collectively pick up that brush together, dive into the paints. Together, let's paint a picture in 2026, a masterpiece that we can all be proud of. And together, I firmly believe that yes, we can do it. And in closing, I think back to the calm and reassuring words of support that were offered to me by past Warden Barb McLean on the election night of October 2014. And I extend the same words to you all. Don't worry. It will be fine. You'll do okay. Thank you. So at this time, I believe I'm to call for an adjournment. So I would call for an adjournment and ask ask everyone to join regular council, which will convene at sometime thereafter, following our reception. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Calling to order the Thursday, December 4th, 2025, regular council meeting for the County of Perth at 10:16 a.m. At this time, I will ask council members and members in attendance in the audience to pause for a moment of reflection, please. Thank you. This time I'll read our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Perth County is situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, who have a long-standing relationship with land and water throughout the region. We honor and respect the history, languages, and culture of the diverse Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit people who call this territory home. As a county, we have a responsibility for reconciliation and the continued stewardship of the land on which we live and work. So at this time, I should also mention that Councillor Todd Kiesenberg is joining us online. Councillor Kiesenberg. Okay, item 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest. I call upon council members at this time, if they wish to disclose such an interest, or at any time throughout the course of the meeting as the need arises. Looking at the room, seeing none, so we will record that as noted and carry on with item 5, confirmation of the agenda. I will turn to our clerk, Tyler Sager, to advise if there have been any additions or deletions or modifications to the agenda today. Tyler?
Excellent. So through the warden, we do have removal of item 8.2.2, the application for plan of subdivision 2825085 Ontario Inc., PE 2401. There's a removal of that application.
Could you go through those again, please, Tyler?
So it's item 8.2.2,
822.
the application for plan of subdivision 2825085 Ontario Inc., PE 2401.
That's been removed, okay? That's it?
That is it.
Okay, Councillor Smith, go ahead.
Thanks through you, Warden. So there'll be no discussion on this particular topic at all today. There's why it's removed or just removed.
Yeah, staff. Perfect. So through the warden, the item 8.2.2 is being removed to the application going to appeal. So we've received an application for appeal on that, so it's in front of the tribunal. That'll be the next step, so no action.
Thank you. Okay. I would, perhaps if council has other questions about that, about what Tyler's announced, we could handle that under other business. Is that appropriate? Just look at it.
If there's any other questions, or we can handle them now. Okay.
Okay, if there's, okay, but if something does arise later on that you think, that council thinks of and wishes to bring it up under other business, that would be appropriate. Okay, so with those changes in the agenda noted, looking for a mover and seconder to adopt the agenda as presented. Everybody? Oh, yeah, the okay, so removal, first of all, a mover and seconder for the removal of item 6.22.
Just read this. It's just going to be the agenda as it.
Oh, okay. Mover and seconder that the December 4th, 2025 agenda be approved as amended. Moved by Councillor McDermott, second by Deputy Warden Orr. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, item 6, consent agenda. We have 20 items altogether. Are there any items that council wishes to extract for discussion or further information? Councillor McKenzie, go ahead, please.
Well, item 6.20, and I guess initially whether we support this resolution with regards to conservation authorities, or whether we give staff authorization maybe to come back at our next meeting with a report that we could do on our own, but or both. And I don't see anything wrong with doing both. So I would certainly make a condition that we support the resolution from the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glenmere.
Okay, so moved by Councillor McKenzie. Is there a seconder to support that motion? Councillor Duncan, you second?
Yeah.
Okay. Colleagues, any questions or comments on that motion? Oh, Deputy Warden Orr, go ahead.
I'm happy to support, but I wonder if it's already been done. Like, I don't know how much staff time we want to dedicate to. Do we have anything? Like, would our letter of support make any impact? I'm just asking.
Councillor McKenzie, go ahead.
I'll I'll refer to, I guess, my experts on the matter, and that's Warden Trankowski. There is a date that submissions have to be in by, and I believe it's at the 22nd. So we would meet, and that's why I said to the next meeting, we would just meet a few days before that. If staff, and it all depends on staff's availability and time to pull something together on that. And I guess the only reason that I suggest that is certainly it was dealt with in Huron County yesterday. And it was the planning staff that came with the report for them on that, and they certainly endorsed it. So I don't think there would be anything wrong with us doing the same, at least having the report come in. But I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting us as well. So it's maybe a double header type of thing.
Okay, so, yeah, Councillor Eggets, go ahead.
In addition to that, there's also dates where people can go and give their comments about the conservation area, and there's one in London, I believe, on the 12th of December. I'm not sure how many people got an invite to that. I did. I don't know if everyone around the table did.
Yeah, to your comment, Councillor Eggets, yes, that conservation authorities were given an invite as well as municipalities were. So yeah, the ministry would have submitted an invite to your respective council staff. So you'd have to investigate further with your staff on the invite. But yes, it's 1 o'clock on Friday the 12th at just can't remember the venue right now, but it is in London.
I want to say RBC, is that what it's called? Right downtown.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I'd have to look it up on my phone, but yeah. Yes, go ahead, Councillor Duncan.
Yes, I'll be attending as a representative of Maitland Valley at a similar meeting in Collingwood Monday morning at 8 o'clock. It's going to be an engagement session, and I think we're going to hear more about the province's direction with regards to governance and a few other things that are kind of open-ended at this point. So,
Okay, thanks, Councillor Duncan. Lori.
Through the warden, so certainly staff are going to be looking at this, and it's an important item, so definitely we could accommodate a report.
Okay, thanks, CL Wolf. Tyler?
So through the warden, just for clarification on where we stand with the potential motion here, that council sends a letter of support to United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry Conservation Authorities. And that council directs staff to prepare a report for the December 18th, 2025 regular council meeting regarding the changes to the conservation authorities through the proposal in Bill 68. Just so, and that was then moved by Councillor McKenzie and seconded by Councillor Duncan.
Okay, just confirming with the mover and seconder of your intent. Yes, okay. Any further discussion, comments? Oh, Councillor Kasenberg, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Warden Trentowski, and my congratulations remotely to your election. My question is, it would appear that largely the composition of conservation authorities comes from lower tier municipal actions. And I'm wondering whether it has any strong benefit for the county level of government to be expressing itself on this particular matter, since the counties don't seem to have direct stake in this. I asked this to the experts at our table. This is my understanding, and I could be quite wrong. So I'm asking for Councillor Duncan or for you, Warden Trentowski, for your comments on the roles that counties play in interacting with conservation authorities.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Kasenberg. Councillor Duncan, go ahead, please.
like Mayor Kasenberg has alluded to, it is more or less a lower tier function, but I think it's important that the county as a whole also supports the lower tiers and sends a letter collectively, stating our intentions as well.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Duncan. Councillor McDermott, you're on the Upper Thames Board. What are your comments?
Maybe we sit on as lower tier, but the problem is this is planning. So this will hugely affect our planning department in ways that may not be the best for the county. So we do have skin in the game here.
Thank you. Councillor Smith, go ahead, please.
Yes, thanks. Through you, Warren, I do represent North Perth and Perth East on the Grand River Conservation Authority. We've sent, collectively, we've got a letter going into the ministry as well. So yeah, I think as Councillor Duncan alluded to, we should support anything that's coming our way that needs our support. I know it's a lower tier responsibility, but support all around from us would certainly help.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Smith. And I would concur with the comments made by council members that there is a definite intersection between the relationship between the lower tiers, the conservation authorities and the county. As Councillor McDermott pointed out, that the proposed changes do impact matters of planning and any other matters that the county attends to that relate to the Conservation Act. So there would, someone mentioned there is skin in the game here, and so it would be helpful and appropriate for the county to add its voice into the comments and into the discussion. So those are my comments. Any further discussion on this item? If not, call the question. All those in favor of the motion? Opposed, if any? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Going back to the original set of consent agenda items, is there anything else that council wishes to extract for discussion? Okay, seeing none, then we have a resolution that the council receives the consent agenda items 6.1 to 6.19 and approves the November 2025 council minutes as presented in the agenda. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Wilhelm. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Item 7, public meetings, public hearings, and delegations. We have none today. Section 8, staff reports. 8.1, Department of the Chief Administrative Officer. 8.1.1, Human Resources Policy Updates. And we have Crystal Holmes, our HR generalist, to lead us off in that presentation. Floor is yours, Crystal. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Warden and members of County Council. The report before you outlines updates made to 4 human resources policies. First, the employee retirement and resignation policy has been consolidated into a single policy and updated to include scope, definitions, and current responsibilities. The employee service award policy was renumbered and reformatted as part of our accessibility and housekeeping updates. For association memberships, we've added provisions to recoup costs if anyone voluntarily leaves the county, included in elective designations and with pre-approval and budget requirements, and clarified roles and responsibilities. Finally, the dress policy has been simplified and modernized. Summer dress parameters were removed, business casual has been clearly defined, and roles and responsibilities were updated for consistency. The updates reflect our ongoing effort to keep HR policies clear, accessible, and aligned with current practices and legislation. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
Okay, thanks, Crystal. Comments or questions from colleagues? Don't see any.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just trying to look for page 70. It refers to a catalog for gifts. Just not aware of a catalog.
Certainly through the warden. So when we have staff members achieving service milestones, I provide them with a small booklet where they can select their gift reward items. And it can be items from a gift card to a county business or locally made and sourced items.
Okay, thank you. I just,
yeah,
thank you. Great.
Good. Anything else? All right, don't see anything. The resolution reads as follows, that the council receives the Human Resources Policy Updates Report and that council approves the Human Resource Policy Updates Report. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Councillor McDermott, second by Councillor Kellum. Any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Very good. Thanks, Crystal. Next, item 8.1.2, coyote sighting forum and public education update. And I call upon our CAO, Lori Wolf, to present that, please.
Thank you, through the warden. This is a report that is coming a year after we're doing some education on this particular topic. And this is a joint report, so I'm going to pass it over to Sarah.
Great, thank you, Lori. Good morning, Warden Trentowski and members of council. In early 2024, council directed staff to develop a tool to track coyote sightings and to promote public education materials about coyote safety in the county. At the time, you'll remember that no mechanism existed to track general coyote sightings, only tracking for livestock predation under the Provincial Wildlife Damage Compensation Program. So in November 2024, a dedicated county webpage and online sighting forum launched at perthcounty.ca/coyotes. Since launch, we've received over 3,000 views to the page. And the form linked on the page offers residents an easy way to report sightings and provides public information on how to safely coexist with coyotes. Before I dive into the data in the report, I do want to thank Perth County's GIS team for their assistance in compiling the information for this report. Since launch, as of October 31st this year, 80 sighting reports were submitted. 72 of those were considered to be sightings, 8 encounters, and 0 concerns about sick or injured animals. Reports came in from across the county with higher numbers in more populated areas, likely as there are more people present to observe them. A full breakdown of those sightings are included in the report. The data shows us that coyotes are present across all municipalities, including in and near settlement areas. Most reports were of passive sightings and interactions remain low, but it still does highlight the need for public awareness on this topic. The new forum offers a better ongoing monitoring option, and also the education materials provide an opportunity for raising awareness on this subject. Staff will continue to promote the forum and the website and the educational materials, reminding the public that rural communities are home to a variety of wildlife, including coyotes. Thank you for your time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Colleagues, questions or comments for Sarah on this report? Speakers list, I'll start with Councillor Agates and then Councillor McDermott. Go ahead.
Through you, Warden Trentowski, what real benefit is this and how much staff time are we spending on this? I know coyotes are there, I know the problems they cause, but I think we could spend staff time a whole lot better somewhere else than tracking an animal that we can't do nothing about. I remember when we had the discussion, yeah, they're out there. I'm just trying to find the benefit of why we're doing this. Just where does the numbers go after here?
Okay.
And what do they do with them?
Turn to staff.
Through the warden, so because there was no ability to track sightings in the county, when we had the discussion at the county table, this form allowed us to gather that information in a passive method. There's no real active commitment in terms of time other than posting and promoting to social media. It also provided a tool to the lower tiers when phone calls were received at central receptions. If there were community concerns, we had a place to point people for educational information, as well as a place to allow people to passively report coyote sightings. There's been no action proposed as a result of the information that we're receiving, but we're just keeping the funnel open in the event that if one day council would like a report back on how that intake has been occurring and whether they want to take any further action, we'd be able to have that data at hand.
Follow up? No.
I think staff could spend their time doing a whole lot better things than this, but it's just my thinking.
Okay. So noted. Councillor McDermott, go ahead, please.
No, I was just wondering that the statistics we gather, if they were passed on to any other group like M&R or somebody like that.
Through the warden, not at this time. The data just remains with the county.
Councillor McKenzie and then Councillor Kellen.
Okay, I guess I got two thoughts here. First one is, I think, and Sue can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the request for this information came from Perth South, that they wanted us to collect this information. So, I think our staff is only doing what they're asked to do. My question is, and maybe I'm getting a little deeper into the weeds here than what I should, but I wonder, down the road, if there is an avenue that we should be looking at further. And I guess my question is there any counties surrounding us that actually have a bounty or some type of reimbursement for coyotes?
CAO Wolf, go ahead, please.
Thank you, through the warden. Yes, in our conversation last year when this came up, it was council direction to move forward with an education program. And we considered whether or not we should do a county predation program. Huron County does. So we gave an example of what, if we were to do it, what it actually looked like. And at the time, we reported that there was insufficient evidence to actually support us embarking on a county predation program. The information was reviewed with the 4 local municipality CAOs. We collect this information. It was direction from council to have it done, so we would report annually on it. If the information came back and it said, holy cow, you have a real problem here, our recommendation to you would be such that maybe we take some action on it. Maybe it would warrant a program, but we would obviously review that information prior to coming to council with the 4 local CAOs.
Well, I think it's probably something that, we can't make a decision on right now because we've only got 1 year's of recording here. But I think if we look at it on a year-by-year basis, and as our CAO has said, if we see the numbers kind of getting out of hand, then maybe we'd have to look at it and take some action at that time.
Thank you. Councillor Kellen, you're next on the speaker list.
Thank you, through your ward, Trinkowski. I had the same comment as Councillor McKenzie, that it was a request that come from Perth South. But on another note, we have to remember that these are sightings only. Who knows if it's the same amount or the same pack of wolves that are traveling from here and there, but we do need to follow up on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kaisenberg, do you have anything? Okay, you're good. Councillor Eggetts, go ahead, please.
Through you, Warden Trinkowski. The bounty brings a lot of problems if you start putting bounties on. You have people coming into the area who don't normally hunt in your area. They're running around on people's property. Sometimes they just cut the ear off of the animal to prove that they got it, and they leave the carcasses all over the farmers' properties. So bounties will cause a whole lot of issues. There are guys, unfortunately not in all the areas out hunting, but they're trying, my husband hunts, they get 40 to 50 a year. I think Councillor Smith hunts, and they get quite a few in their area. So they're trying to get them down, but putting a bounty on will cause a lot of issues.
Okay, thanks for those comments. Deputy Warden Orr, go ahead, please.
I do appreciate the information, and if I think the bulk of the work has been done, and as Sarah has mentioned, that it is now just social media, and I do feel comfortable when I can tell somebody if you saw a sighting where to go, and there's an educational piece there for the public. So I'd like to see it continue and do year-by-year comparison.
Okay, so noted. CAO Wolf, go ahead.
So through the warden, it will continue. Thank you for those comments. It will continue until council says, because we're doing it in accordance with council direction. So you will get an annual report. It's already worked into our work plan. You are correct. The bulk of the work is done. It's automated. And you can expect to see that every fall. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this report? Seeing none, resolution reads as follows: that council receives the coyote sighting form and public education update report for information. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Duncan, second by Deputy Warden Orr. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Turn the page. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Turn the page to 8.2, Planning Services. 8.2.1, the agreement concerning the Perth County Planning Services Program. CAO Wolf and also Andrea Hackler, our Director of Planning, will guide us on this one. Good morning, Andrea.
Thank you. Through the warden, this is a good news item. Very pleased to present this report. Andrea and I worked on it together. Following this, it'll be probably reported at the local level by the CAO group there, because it'll need just confirmation to your councils. But it's been 5 years. If you remember the planning service, there was a requirement and direction from county council as well as the local councils to bring that planning service back to the county level. So we've done that. This is a 5-year agreement. It is housekeeping because the agreement automatically renews unless somebody puts forward notice that they would like to withdraw. I can speak to my discussions with the CAOs, and certainly they're quite pleased, but I will pass it on to Andrea to speak to the planning services and the successes that we've had.
Okay,
Great.
Thanks, Lori. Go ahead, Andrea.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I am happy to say too that we feel that our delivery of the planning service is going really well. We continue to look for opportunities to collaborate with all of your staff. We're always looking for opportunities to streamline processes, create efficiencies. And then we've all been working very hard, including in all of your staff in each of your lower tier municipalities, to create consistency across the board with the planning service that we're providing. So that means creating standardized templates for reports. We're working on updating all the planning applications so that they're standard across the board. As you know, we recently worked with each of your municipalities to establish consistent application fees. And so we keep looking for more opportunities to do that. And in terms of, we continue to meet with your CIOs, and we're also working closely with your building departments as we navigate through this zoning bylaw review process too. So I'm happy to answer any questions or take any feedback.
Okay, thanks. Andrea, questions? Start with Deputy Warden Orr first, please.
I just want to say I couldn't be more pleased with our planning services right now. I'm from Perth South's perspective, in my opinion, we've really come a long way, and you had stress there with the official plan, handled it well. And I do appreciate what planning, the direction plans are. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Agates, go ahead, please.
Warden Trinkowski, I just want to echo Deputy Warden Orr's comments. We can't thank you enough. I think Perth East is very pleased. They're here. And I think we're very pleased with how the planning has all come together and what's going on. So thank you for the team and your hard work and your team to work with.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Seeing none. All right. Motion reads as follows: that the council receives the agreement for Perth County Planning Services Program report for information. Moved by Councillor Agates, second by Councillor McDermott. Any further discussion? I too would like to echo the comments already mentioned. The planning department has been making great strides in recent months, and we continue to appreciate all the dedication and hard work of your staff, Andrea. Thank you. All right. Okay, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Thank you. All right. As discussed earlier, 8.22 application for plan of subdivision 2825085 Ontario Inc. PE 2401 has been removed from our agenda, as explained by Clerk Sager earlier. So we will then move into 8.3 corporate services, 8.3.1, the 2026 board and committee appointments. And I'll turn the floor over to our clerk, Tyler Sager, to carry us through this, please.
Perfect. So through the warden before council is the 2026 board and committee appointments report. This is a report that is done annually. I'm just gonna see if we can get the information brought up here shortly through the deputy clerk Cannon. So an email went out to council about a month ago requesting any of the appointments that council would like to sit on for boards and committees. So shown on the screen is a kind of a collation of all the information that I did receive from council. Typically what we do is we go through each board and committee to see if we can get some representatives on those boards and committees. So if you would like, I could just kind of lead us through each one.
Yes, yes, please.
Excellent. So the first one listed is Spruce Lodge Board. Typically, this is one member of council and then the warden. As past practice has been, we've had two councillors put their names forward, and the warden has yielded their position. So if that is okay, we could move forward the same kind of process. If anybody else would like their name to stand for Spruce Lodge Board, now would be the time to bring it forward. Seeing nobody else wanting to be added, so we would move forward with Deputy Warden Sue Orr and Councillor Jerry Smith. Again, both of you are okay with holding that position. Excellent. So next would be the Huron Perth Public Health Board of Health. Again, we're looking for two members of council. We do have Councillor Kasenberg, his name, and we are looking for a second member. And Councillor Kasenberg, you're okay if your name stands for that committee as well? Thank you. Looking for a second council member. Councillor Wilhelm?
Yes, I would go back on if no one else aspires to take that position.
Do not see anybody else aspiring for said position, so we will place your name accordingly. Thank you. Next to the Stratford Perth Museum Board. We're looking for one there. We had two names brought forward. It's my understanding that Councillor Smith, you're okay with removing your name from that?
Yes.
Councillor Wilhelm, you're okay with standing?
Yes.
Is there anybody else that would like their name put forward? Seeing none, then we will move forward as so. The Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee, looking for one councillor to put their name forward.
Yeah, my apologies, I didn't send it in, but I will sit on that committee.
Excellent. Love to have you back. So Councillor Agates, anybody else? Perfect. All right, so for Municipal Shared Services Committee, two members plus the warden. So obviously we do have Warden Trentowski listed on there. Two members out of Deputy Warden Sue Orr, Councillor Kasenberg, and Councillor Kellum. So we're looking for two of the three. Would any one of the three like to be removed or anybody like added for discussion?
Mr. Sager, I'm happy not to serve there if the others are eager to serve there. So,
is there eagerness? We do have eagerness. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Kasenberg. Okay, moving on, we do have the Perth County Land Division Committee, 5 members listed. Thank you. My edits from Rachel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have 5 there. Is there anybody else that would like their name added or removed? Any discussion on that? No? Perfect. Okay. Perth County Agricultural Working Group. So we have 5 individuals there. We do have Deputy Warden Trentowski now listed as Warden Trentowski taking that position. So with that being said, normal practice would be that Councillor McKenzie, you get the fine honor of sitting on the Ag Working Group as a West Perth representative.
You're looking for an agreement. I wouldn't do that. If it wasn't for the honor of being run out of town on the rails, I wouldn't do it, but I'll do it.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. All right, so then moving on, we do have the Planning Services Review Working Group as well as the Community Transportation Steering Committee. I'm going to handle these as one. Both of these, the Working Group and Steering Committee, both met their mandate. So part of the resolution would be to dissolve those to the Working Group as well as the committee. So that would be just coming forward in the resolution. But again, both those have met their mandate. Last but not least is the SWIFT, which is the term, which is 2026 to 2027. So it does carry over. They do have information about what that might look like carrying into 2027 post-election. So they do have a condition in there. Councillor Kiesenberg, I saw you raise your hand, and you can either speak to that if you have a bit more information on it.
Yes, thank you. I am certainly happy to continue service to the April general meeting of SWIFT. And so we have to sort of watch how we structure the resolution here. After that point, at council's leisure, I can serve to the end of the electoral cycle. As I've indicated, I do intend to retire at the next election. So you could leave me to that point and let the next council appoint a new SWIFT representative. Or if you wish an orderly transition, then you could appoint another representative to take over at the April AGM of SWIFT board if that serves well. Council's decision, certainly.
Council's wishes?
I'm good with that. Dear Warden, I'm okay if he wants to serve and finish it out, because there's no guarantee. Hopefully some of you are back next year, but there's no guarantee anybody will be back. So it might be the case for anybody else too.
And it's to your point, Councillor Agates, if there's a lame duck situation arises later in the year, this council would lose its opportunity, I think, to make any adjustments to that posting. So, councillors, thoughts? Do you concur? Looking around the table. Okay. Do we need a separate motion for that, or how different language?
So through the warrant, I think we're okay to proceed with the way the resolution stands, because with SWIFT, they have it built into their process that if you do happen to stay on, Councillor Kiesenberg, then the option is there. You carry out your 2-year term. If you do change your mind of how you'd like to proceed with the next election. However, after that, if you do not carry forward, we can address it. I think my recommendation would be address it with the new council and do an appointment for the 1 year at that time. So I believe we can move forward with the 2-year term as it stands and make the adjustment in November.
Okay. You're good with that, Councillor Kiesenberg? Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I believe that would conclude the board's and committee appointments for 2026. We can stop sharing the screen, Rachel, please, and thank you. Do you mind if I read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Excellent. So the motion would read through the board that council receives the 2026 boarding committee's appointments report, and that council dissolves the Planning Services Review Working Group and the Community Transportation Steering Committee, and that council approves the board and committee appointments for 2026.
Okay, motion has been read. Looking for a mover and seconder. Moved by Councillor Kiesenberg. Seconder, please. Councillor Agates. Any final comments, questions, discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. All right, 8.3.2, we are going to receive an update to the preservation policy and reading room forms at Stratford Perth Archives, and we're joined today by Betty Jo Belton, our manager of archives, and we also have another guest with us, so go ahead, please.
Thank you, Warden Trentowski, and good morning, council and staff. My pleasant job here today is to introduce Megan Lockhart. She's going to present today's report from the archive. She's been the assistant archivist for reference and public outreach since September of 2024. And among her many accomplishments since then, she's drafted updates to our policies and procedures relating to reference with the goal of enhancing community relations for the archives. So that I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Betty Jo. Thank you, Warden, and good morning, Council and staff. The report from Stratford Perth Archives today is a policy and forms update for Council's information. We recommend that Council approves the use of the updated policy and forms at Stratford Perth Archives for use beginning in January 2026, and to approve submission of the report for the MSSC meeting on December 18th. I would like to provide a few details, a selection of items from the report. Staff at Stratford Perth Archives have reviewed an updated archives preservation policy, originally approved by Perth County Council in 2020, and related forms and handouts provided to our users in the archives reading room. Updates to the preservation policy and reading room forms are intended to support staff in communicating the importance and value of preserving the archival records, informational and historical resources, and cultural treasures available at Stratford Perth Archives, while also making researchers and other users feel welcome accessing services in our space. Such updates include the addition of rules and guidelines for the use of contemporary technology in the reading room, including the use of personal cameras, and clear guidelines for researchers on providing credit to Stratford Perth Archives when publicly sharing photographs and other digitized records sourced from us. Updates to the query registration form used to track requests for information allows for the form to reflect the full scope of services archive staff provide to the public, including scan requests and public outreach programming. Additional updates to staff service standard guidelines and procedures supports flexibility in staff's responses to requests from researchers, while ensuring that the safety of staff and archival collections is paramount. To conclude, I want to thank everyone for your time today. And through Warden Trentowski, I'm happy to respond to any questions or comments about the report.
Excellent. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Betty Jo. Colleagues, questions or comments on this report? Don't see any. No, thank you for the report and your dedication to your tasks at the archives. It's much appreciated, and history information is very helpful when writing speeches. All right, with that, we have a resolution that as follows, that the council receives updates to preservation policy and reading room forms at Stratford Perth Archives report. That council approves the use of the updated policy and forms at Stratford Perth Archives, and that council approve the report for submission to the Municipal Shared Services meeting of December 18th, 2025. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Smith, Councillor McDermott, final call for questions, discussion. Seeing none, I'll call the question. Or did you ready to vote? Okay, okay, all right. Calling the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, ladies. All right, moving on, 8.33 POA Court Services Report for Municipal Shared Services Committee and Operational Update. And we have Vicki Hamilton, Manager of Court Services, to guide us through that. Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning, Warden and members of Council. This report provides an update on activities at the Provincial Offences Court Services Office until the end of September of this year. I will be brief this morning as there was an update provided last month for MSSC as well. Staff continue to schedule early resolution meetings and trials. In the report, you will see the comparisons for revenue charges filed, pending caseload, and court appearances over the last 5 years to the current year. Revenue distribution is calculated based on actual fines and paid and the location of each offense. And with that, I will take any questions that you may have.
Good, thanks, Vicki. Questions for Vicki, colleagues on this report? Don't see any. Resolution reads as follows, that council receives the POA Court Services Report for MSSC and Operational Update Report, and that council approves the report for submission to the Municipal Shared Services Committee meeting of December 18th, 2025. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Wilhelm, Councillor McKenzie. Final call, questions, comments? Call the question, all those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried. Next is 8.34, the 2026 general insurance renewal. Corey Bridges, our treasurer and director of finance, will lead us through that presentation. Okay, Corey.
Trenkowski. The report before you is the general insurance liability for the County of Perth for 2026. The policy covers our general liability as well as our auto, property, and cyber liability. The quotation provided was approximately $682,000, which is approximately a 3.5% increase from 2025 levels. As seen in the report, provided there's a schedule of the last 10 years of increases of our general insurance. Within the report as well, the limits, sublimits, and deductibles all remain the same as prior years. We are seeing that these increases within our insurance leveling off from what we've seen previously, larger increases. The amounts within the quotation are going to be built within the 2026 budget for Perth County. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay. Thanks, Corey. Colleagues, questions or comments for Corey on this report? See any? So with that, there's a resolution that council receives a general insurance renewal report permit information, and that council approves the general insurance renewal for the period January 1, 2026 to December 31, 2026 with AON Reed Stenhouse Incorporated at a cost of $681,938 plus applicable taxes, and that council authorizes the treasurer to execute all associated documents related to the general insurance renewal. Looking for a mover and seconder on that resolution. Councillor Eggetts moves, Councillor Wilhelm seconds. Open the floor for discussion, debate, questions. Final call, seeing none. Call the question, all those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried. Thank you. All right, thanks, Corey. Thank you. Next is section 8.4, paramedic services. 8.4.1, paramedic services for mobile integrated health, MIH update, as it relates to municipal shared services committee reporting. And we have with us today Debbie Hunter, Deputy Chief of the Mobile Integrated Health Unit. Welcome.
Good morning, thank you. Through the Warden, I am here today to present the MIH update for municipal shared services. We have continued to support and connect members of our communities over the last year. As of November, we have connected with over 4,000 of our clients through both in-person and phone visits. The province at this time has committed to sustainable funding for community paramedic programs, which helps us to continue with future planning. We have been expanding and formalizing referral pathways with our partners and frontline paramedics, and current stats reflect over 150 paramedic referrals received at this time from our frontline staff, as well as over 400 from other community agencies or individuals. We see a nice distribution of clients across our whole coverage area, and we're actively presenting to physician groups, community agencies, and in social settings to share the information about the program for people who maybe haven't got access yet. We're working hard with a group through Health Excellence Canada. We received funding for a social prescribing program. So this program will connect people with more social needs as opposed to medical needs, so to try and mitigate loneliness and connections within our community. This year, our immunization requests have increased greatly, and we are prioritizing homebound, vulnerable individuals, and we continue to support administration at retirement homes as well. Our ARC team, which is the partnership with Stratford Social Services, has hosted over 150 clinics, primarily in our social services buildings, to ensure that those individuals who may face a barrier to care have access with both health and social supports. In closing, none of this would be easy without the support we receive here and the endless hard work of the paramedics and support staff within this program. We truly appreciate the dedication to this work from this group and as well as our own staff. I welcome any questions at this time.
Okay, thanks, Deb. Colleagues, questions or comments for Deb on this report? Councillor Kiesenberg checking in with you. Nope, you're good. Deputy Warden Moore, go ahead, please.
Just wanted to say, very pleased with the report. Minor correction maybe on the graph, St. Mary's is labeled twice. So, and then there's two that aren't necessarily labeled. But,
okay.
Yeah, very, very happy for all the stuff that you do in our community, and I can definitely see the impact. And thank you. Thank you to your whole team. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Okay, seeing none, resolution reads as follows. That council receives the Paramedic Services Mobile Integrated Health MIH Update, Municipal Shared Services MSSC Report, and that council approve the Paramedic Services Mobile Integrated Health MIH Update, Municipal Shared Services MSSC, to be presented at the December 18th, 2025 MSSC meeting. Moved by Councillor Kellum, seconded by Deputy Warden Orr. Further comments, questions, discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. And we'll move on next to 8.4.2, Mobile Integrated Health Training Funding here in Perth, Ontario Health Team. And once again, we have Debbie Hunter, Deputy Chief of MIH, to present that for us, please.
Thank you. Through the warden, this is regarding funding that we are asking to receive from our local Ontario Health Team around funding for our paramedics to receive serious illness conversation. We worked closely with the Ontario Health Team, did an assessment of sort of staff needs and what we recognized as an opportunity for learning with serious illness conversation put on by palliative care specialists. Involved online component, instructor-led, and a lot of work on their own as well. So they've offered to fund this education for our paramedics. So the intention of this ask would be permission to accept that money from our local Ontario Health Team to the program. If there's any questions.
Thanks, Deb. Colleagues, questions? Councillor Eggetts, go ahead, please.
Through you, Warden Trinkowski, my apologies, I didn't contact you sooner. In the motion, it's 1970, in the report, it's 1870.
It's 1870.
So the motion should be 1870.
Yes.
I actually like the 19 better. Just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. So noted by the chair. Anything further? No? Okay. So I'll read the corrected motion, a resolution as follows, that the council receives the Mobile Integrated Health Training Funding here in Perth, Ontario Health Team report, and that council directs staff to receive $1,870 funding from the Ontario Health Team to be used for training community paramedics in patient-related communication skills. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor McDermott moves, seconded by Councillor Kiesenberg. Final call, questions, comments, debate, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Excellent. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
All right, moving along on our agenda, we're at 8.4.3 Emergency Management Program Update. Joining us will be Chris Keyser, Deputy Chief of Program Development. Floor is yours, Chris.
Thank you. Through the warden, members of council, I have submitted a report to you just to give you a yearly update on the emergency management program and some key milestones. First, I'd like to thank this council, as well as all of our local councils, for their continued support and confidence in managing this program. as well as all of the county staff, as well as some Perthy staff who are also in the room, and any other of our municipal staff that are online. Thank you very much for your support and confidence in managing this program and moving it forward. I would say this year has been a foundational year for me. One, getting up to speed on all of the regulatory requirements and obligations that we have. One thing is when I do talk about program council or ECG, I mean the entire program and all of its people who are involved. There's many of us. I could list off all their names, but we would be here for a very long time. And I understand I'm at the end of the agenda, so I'll try and keep it short. So I thank all of our staff as well. This year, one of the big things that I'm very proud of is we had early discussions and we elevated cybersecurity from outside of our top 10 into our top end of our HIRA, which is the Hazard Identification Risk Assessment. And we tailored a tabletop that was to exercise how we would respond in a cybersecurity event. It was very well received. It was a little bit different for us. We had moved out of the realm of windstorms and snowstorms and floods and into something that was a little bit odd for us to operate with. So the feedback was really good. That was one thing I was very happy about. And I had a lot of players from all over the entire program that worked with us on that. Your program committees have also approved those changes to the HIRA. We've worked on them together, as well as our critical infrastructure will be next year. We're going to take a really good look at that. And we're also going to take a look at the plan and amend it. So as you may know, modernization of that protection, the Municipal Protection Act, it's a very long term, I forget it, but it's in the report and I got it cited right, so you can read it there. The updates will probably come in February and then we'll see what the impacts will need to be. So we've decided that we're going to pull off wholesale revision to our ERP until we know what the obligations are going to be under that act. And the rest is in the report. I am also open to welcome any questions.
Good, thanks, Chris. Colleagues, anything for Chris here? I think you summed it up rather well, Chris, thank you. So the resolution reads as follows, that the council receives the Emergency Management Program Update Report for information. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Wilhelm and Councillor Eggetts. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. All right, council reports. None have been received up until the start of the meeting. I don't know if colleagues have anything they wish to include at this time. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to section 10. Bylaws. We have one bylaw to consider. That's bylaw 4049 2025. Appoint members to committees and boards for 2026 as previously discussed in a previous agenda item. Motion reads that the bylaw 4049-2025 be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 4th day of December 2025. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Duncan moves, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any further discussion? Councillor Eggetts.
Just reading through your warden, reading through it, it's first slide that says warden and councillor. Should that be changed to 2 councillors because, or does it?
So through the wording, the bylaw is going to be amended to reflect the changes that we discussed today, which will have both councillors listed.
Okay, thanks for that clarification, Councillor Eggetts and Clerk Sager. Anything further? Okay, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Thank you. That's carried. Okay, moving to item 11, notice of motions. Following up from our previous meeting, there's a notice of motion submitted by Councillor Kaysenberg, evaluating human performance management. I'll turn the floor to Councillor Kaysenberg in that regard. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Warden. This morning certainly is the opportunity for us to at least consider a resolution that adds some information to Council's understanding with regards to the budget and organizational performance. Certainly as we plan the 2026 year and beyond, looking at the budget, in some detail, as was requested at the last council meeting. I think the opportunity also exists for us to look at our human resources in some degree of detail. It's not something that I believe has been undertaken, and I believe it can be undertaken solely by staff without need of reference to external consultants to assist. Because essentially what I'm asking in this resolution, and I'd like to move it certainly, is that we ask for a generalized report from perhaps the CAO and the HR manager on our current methods of human performance management within the organization, really focusing on how annual goals for employees are established and confirmed, and to some degree how they line up with the budget, how workload is assessed and monitored, and how performance against goals is being measured and reinforced across the organization. For us to do that, we'll need to have a look at some of the tools that might be used, the artifacts, as I call them. And finally, that this year, as employees establish their setting of their work objectives for the current year, that they add a little bit of richness, if it's not already called for in the tools, to describe their duties in their own words so that we understand if there's a disconnect, to identify possible improvements in their work. We want their best ideas and suggestions for how to move forward, and to suggest any recalibrations in their work that might be warranted, because they could certainly identify whether they have available time to do more, or whether they're overwhelmed and need support. So the intention of the resolution is to get a sort of pulse of the HR systems and performance management structures within the organization at this time, to support our understanding of the budget that also is intended to come forward shortly. I so move.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kaysenberg. So colleagues, what I'm going to do, Councillor Kaysenberg has moved his motion. I will read the motion aloud in its entirety. And then what I will ask for is a seconder. And then once we have a seconder, we'll put this motion on the floor for further discussion. So I will read the motion as follows: that the Council of the County of Perth directs staff to bring forward a report in association with the budget draft that explains and outlines the current methods of human performance management within the organization, including how annual goals for employees are established and confirmed, how workload is assessed and monitored, and how performance against goals are measured and reinforced, and that Council sees examples of the artifacts of the performance management framework in a future closed session meeting to aid understanding, and that employees of the County of Perth be required during the setting of their work objectives in 2026 to describe their duties, identify possible improvements in their work, and suggest any recalibrations in their work that may be warranted. So moved by Councillor Kaysenberg, seeking a seconder for this motion. Councillor Wilhelm, you second?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor that's now can be discussed and debated. So I'll start speakers with Councillor McDermott. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is this like a standard procedure that corporations would use in the developing of their employees? Like this is like a corporation would do this once a year or once every so many years to keep it up to date?
I'll go to staff first and then see if the mover has any further any comments that he wants to include. So I'll go ahead, CAO.
Okay, so certainly through the warden, this would be very good information for council as a refresher once a term. I would be happy to bring a report for council's information if we attach it to the budget. It also allows us to prepare that information for incoming council. So it's certainly not uncommon to look at the staff complement, the types of things that are done, and just have re-verification that those are the areas of priority that council's looking for.
Okay, you're good, Hugh? Okay. Kasenberg, go ahead, please.
If I might, I have detected certainly in progressive organizations these days that the work of inviting their employees to actually, in their own words, describe their work and the objectives that they have, which is done formally in the performance management system typically, but sometimes as an extra in their own words, what they think their job is, can be quite an insightful and productive exercise. And as I said, there are a number of organizations that are doing that kind of work these days.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kasenberg. Deputy Warden Orr, you're next on speakers list.
Would we want to include anything about time management for anything?
Staff?
Through the warden, so time management, just you want us to, we would address that in terms of the workload balance and the priority as we balance that throughout the year, because we do get additional requests for action items throughout the year at our council meetings. Is that what you're looking for and how we shuffle?
Just, there's some things that we do that I'm like, I wonder how much time you've spent on that. And I don't want to pick on anybody in particular, but I know that there's some things that Tyler has to do for Municipal Day that I'm like, wow. So that wouldn't be helpful. Not taking my
Thank you. Through the warden, we can certainly look at that aspect of it. That's workload analysis. So we currently do look at those things.
Okay.
Okay, any other speakers? Councillor Smith, go ahead.
Yes, through your warden, just a point of clarification for that in all of the employees, the way the motion reads employees, we have over 100 employees. Would this just be specific to directors or managers? I can't see a seasonal plow operator coming up with their duties. So just a point of clarification on the motion.
Staff, go ahead, please.
Through the warden, we would be, the report that I would anticipate bringing you would be by department. So we have several positions that might be the same, and we might, as a paramedic, we're not, paramedic, we have lots of those. So, but it would be as that role, and we would get collective feedback on that.
Thank you. I'll go to Councillor Kasenberg first and then Councillor Eggetts.
I think that that leadership of staff has some discretion to some degree with regards to the last part of the motion, which is to invite employees to contribute in their usual paths, but a little bit above and beyond in terms of describing their duties, so we understand how they see their own roles versus what the technical language of their job description says. And to Councillor Smith's point, it might be a bit of folly to chase that in some roles because there's a fairly defined function that is performed, but I also don't want to be too limiting in terms of the scope of that mandate in the organization, and I think we should leave that to the CEO's discretion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Eggetts, go ahead.
I was just going to ask for clarification from the mover of what he meant.
Okay, so we're good? All right. Anything further? Okay, seeing no hands up. So the motion has been read. It's been moved and seconded and discussed. So I guess at this point, I will call the question. All those in favor of the motion as presented? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Kasenberg. All right. Item 12, other business, and we have listed here Forestry Conservation Bylaw, open house format. I wanted to bring this to the attention of my colleagues. Our open house is slated for Wednesday of next week, 6 p.m. Start time in Milverton at the Perth complex. And I thought it was important to have a discussion about what that format would, how that would look. In the council resolution, it wasn't, other than the holding of an open house, there wasn't much description or detail beyond that. So I guess now, as the head of council, I wanted to bring forward some thoughts and ideas on how best to I guess, structure and manage that event. And I would start off by offering that as the head of council, I would offer to chair that meeting in the same manner as I would a regular council meeting, but knowing that this is not a public meeting of council, it's rather an open house, I would still offer to chair the meeting. And the agenda I would give a welcome and opening remarks to the public. Just going through my notes here. I would also include going back to my corporate background, a public safety announcement. This I call it housekeeping, emergency exits, mustering point, AED locations. That information, should an emergency arise during the event. I would also introduce all the county councillors that are in attendance so that the public members are aware of the councillors attending that evening. I would introduce the presenters. The presentation would be similar to the presentation that was delivered at the lower tiers. Clerk Sager had a segment. Marvin Smith, our tree bylaw officer, had a segment of the presentation, as well as our prosecutor, Mr. Halberlack, would also provide his presentation piece. I would introduce those individuals up front. Any other county staff that might be in attendance at the meeting, I would recognize their attendance as well. And then from there, I would give the audience an overview from the meeting chair, outline the purpose of our meeting. It's a public presentation to inform the public members about the Perth County Forestry Bylaw Review and proposed bylaw changes. It's an opportunity to receive public member questions and comments regarding the proposed changes. As I said, the staff would make their presentations. The floor would then be opened up to receive those questions and comments. All questions and comments would flow through the chair to the respective presenters. Now, I was also looking to see that my council colleagues would also be up front in the front of the hall the three presenters would be on, the chair would be in the middle, the presenters would be on one side, the rest of county council would be on the other side of the chair, so that the public could see county council receiving the information from the public. And in the event that the public has questions that they want, comments that they want to direct to council for clarification or information only, but not as a point of discussion or debate. That was my other reason, not only to have council up front to listen and receive, and to be seen listening and to receive, but if a question comes through the chair that might be more appropriately directed to council, then the council could respond back to that question in the appropriate manner, again, without advancing council business. So that's the general format that I was seeking to achieve. And we would go through the questions and go through the presentations, the questions and comments. Public members from the audience there would be a separate table and a microphone for public members to come up to. There'd be a kind of a ticket system that someone wants to speak, they grab a ticket, kind of like if you're in the license office, it's like number 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that would govern the order of the speakers coming up to the microphone, give them 5 to 10 minutes to ask their questions, get their answers, make their comments, and then yield the floor to the next public member and so forth in that order. Once we've exhausted all of the public members that wish to speak, then there would be closing remarks from the meeting chair. So that's essentially the idea that I was proposing to county council for their consideration, and I wanted to get their feedback on it. I reviewed it with past Warden Kellen and staff. They had no direct questions or comments, but so now it's the opportunity for colleagues to provide their input. So I'll start with Councillor Agates and then Councillor Wilhelm.
Okay, so you, Warden Tronkowski, I agree with almost all of it. You made the comment that they could comment on the changes. I want them to be able to comment on the whole bylaw, not just the changes that are being proposed by the presentation. They should be able to comment on everything in it.
Yeah.
That's what your intention is?
Yeah.
If that's not what you said.
Well,
You mentioned the changes, that they can comment on the changes, but I want to do it, the whole bylaw, they can, if they have other suggestions than other than the one change that we're looking at.
And that's fine. I'm just going by those earlier remarks, Councillor Agates, I was just going by what we advertised in the notifications to the public. But yes, it is appropriate to entertain other comments on the rest. It's a bylaw review.
Yeah.
So.
The whole bylaw.
Yeah, the whole bylaw.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. Councillor Wilhelm.
Yeah, I agree with what Councillor Agates said. I kind of have a different look at it. Seeing as it's not a council meeting, I question if staff should not be chairing it. You certainly should be bringing greetings from the county and et cetera, but I'm not so sure if staff should be chairing it. And also, I think it should be upfront that speakers are limited to 3 minutes.
Okay, no, and that's a good point. As head of council, I made the first offer to chair, but I'm like, if colleagues wish that staff chair the meeting, I'm fine with that. I can still bring the greetings, the opening remarks, and the closing remarks. That's fine. If colleagues want staff to chair it, then what was your other point?
Limited to 3 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, and I kind of grappled with that because when I watch other organizations, municipal organizations with their delegations, some are 5, some are 10, but it's up to colleagues to set the time limit. I'm just kind of just giving my thoughts and ideas, and that's totally open to how we want to do this. So, okay, I'll go to Councillor Kasenberg, then Deputy Warden, and then Councillor McKenzie. Go ahead, Councillor Kasenberg.
Thank you, Warden. I'm going to echo Councillor Wilhelm's suggestion. Recently, of course, we saw the province do its consultation on budget 2026 in Stratford, and they kept speakers to 3 minutes, 1 round. And I think that that's an appropriate approach. It went smoothly and was effective, and so I would counsel that we limit to 3 minutes, as Councillor Wilhelm has suggested. I also make a practical possible suggestion with regards to differentiating between questions and opinions. And it may be that we have 2 rounds of engagement. The first is a question round, and it is not intended to be sort of pugilistic or opinionated. And the second round is expression of opinions about matters. And finally, I would concur with Councillor Wilhelm as well on the issue of facilitation. While I appreciate your generosity in wishing to do this, Warden Dean, I'm not sure that that is the best approach. I do counsel staff to find a skilled internal facilitator who can help make this run well and who has a firm grasp on how to deal with time matters if we do limit times.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Kasenberg. So noted and appreciated. So then I think I had Deputy Warden next. Go ahead.
Sure. I don't have a problem with the ticket system. I think 3 minutes, if we haven't been advertising like that, that might be a bit too short. I'd like to see that maybe extended to 5, and they don't have to take 5, but it could take 5. And I do also like, I like what Mayor Kasenberg just said about having 2 rounds, because it looks like you're looking for comments on our bylaw. But I also do feel that there's people that have comments regarding, there's a draft bylaw that is out there. It's only in draft form. But I do think that people have things they want to say, and I think that we should let them say their comments.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Warden. Councillor McKenzie, you're next on the speakers list.
Well, I guess my comments are fairly minor in nature. When I think of an open house, I think of a come and go type of situation. This is, in my mind, it's more of a meeting, maybe a special meeting. And I guess when I see this, I would think, okay, it starts at 6, but I could show up at 7 and I'm just going to go around the room and ask questions at different spots. So that's the only comment that I have. If we're maybe advertising or promoting it as maybe something that isn't, and that could be my own idea. Like when I think of an open house, I think of a come and go type of a situation. Like I said, my comments are minor in nature.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McKenzie. Any further? Councillor Smith, go ahead.
Yes, thanks for the word. So echo Councillor McKenzie's thoughts. If all 10 of us were to actually be able to appear and we were sitting beside the chair, the public I would think, well, this is an actual council meeting. I know we've said we're not going to pursue business, but I like the format that we had during the OPA review, where lower-tier councilors were all invited and they sat in the public and they were acknowledged. You put our hand down, we're here. I just don't want to get people thinking, oh, this is an actual council meeting, and down the road, oh, you've had a council meeting. I want to make sure we're okay with the municipal act, et cetera. So the other thought is, why not just make it a special public meeting? But I know we haven't got time to do all that now. Let's stick with the open house. I like the format. 5 minutes would be good, but I just don't want the public to think that it's an actual council meeting. So my thoughts would be we would sit amongst the crowd. And my thoughts, but I'm happy to go with whatever council decides.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Smith. I get where in my comments earlier where I was, the motivation to have council sit up front was for the public, for council to see the public and the council to be seen as being present. And I'm drawing from the previous meetings from the OPA, from our official plan revision, is that one of the comments from the crowd are, well, where are all the councillors? I can't see them. So it's as much as perception counts in terms of people seeing and recognizing that the elected officials are there, to be receiving the comments from the public. That's where my thought process was. And in terms of the come and go, yes, it is effective in the sense that there's no timetable. People can come in at their own schedule, their own pace, to come in, ask their questions, and then provide comment for it. My concern or fear is that there's an element of randomness to it. to the point that if a question is asked and answered, not everyone will hear that answer. And I was my thought process was seeking a more structured approach that when a question is asked and answered, everyone present hears the same thing at the same time to avoid any confusion or any issues like that. So but again, I give it to my colleagues to decide how they want to approach it. Go ahead, CEO Wolf.
Through the warden, if it would help in that regard, council, we certainly have time to update some of our promotional materials if council does want to make it a special council meeting as well as, / open house, because you only need 24 hours notice for the notice period. So if that would help in terms of the optics, all we need from council is just a resolution to say that it's a special council meeting, and then the promotional notice materials would be updated, certainly already distributed in hand, that people have. We'll say open house, but we could start today to say it's also deemed to be a special council meeting. You only need 24 hours notice.
Okay, I'll go to Deputy Warden and then Councillor McKenzie and then Councillor Eggers. Go ahead.
So if you make it a special meeting, are people allowed to do a delegation?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, through the warden. So it's because you're calling it a special council meeting, they're able to come up. We would structure the agenda similar to what you already have intended, that people come up, they have their either 3 minutes or 5 minutes. We wouldn't list that on the agenda. People can delegate to a regularly scheduled council meeting when it comes back, and there you have the full procedure there. But generally, special council meetings are one topic only, right? And this has already been advertised, and the intention of council was to have it structured as an open house. Excuse me.
Okay. Anything further?
Yep.
Okay, Councillor McKenzie, you're next.
I guess I'm going to clarify myself here. I don't have a problem with the structured event like you're talking. I guess my issue is with the terminology open house. And when I think of an open house, and you can relate to this, is what we did when we were seeking input on the arena. And we just had a night from, I forget what time, 6 till 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And we had different sections of the options that we had for the arena all the way around the room. People could go from option to option, and then at the end, we did have a form to fill out to express their opinions and what they wanted. That's what when I think of an open house, that's what I think. You can come and go, you can go around and get different ideas. But I don't have a problem with what you've explained so far, the structure. I just think it may be a little bit misleading to some of the ratepayers out there.
Okay. Again, Councillor McKenzie, just going by what the council resolution that was made and the advertising that we've posted so far. So your comments are noted. So, okay, Councillor Eggers, you're next.
So you were Trinkowski. So years ago, we did the official plan that way one time. When Judge was the warden, we had a special council meeting. We held it back in Moncton, and we did just what Lori said. We opened the meeting. We allowed people to be a delegation and get up and give their report. I did comment a while ago that that's how we had done that. Moving to Walter's comment, if you go back and listen to the tape when we first started talking about next week, we talked about public meeting, and then somehow in the motion, it came out as an open house. And that really, if you go back to the discussion, but that's how the motion came out. But I made a motion at the last meeting, which moved and seconded that the people are allowed to get up and speak. I want to hear the people speak. I want all of us to hear the same message. And that's what that motion was for. An open house is fine, but somebody might talk to Dean, but don't talk to me, and I don't get to hear what that person said. I think we all need to hear everybody's same thing. So it's already in the motion, it's already been passed. I hear what you're saying, but that's not the intention of council.
And I guess further to that, your remarks, Councillor Eggers, I just want us to have a good meeting that people can come away satisfied that they received information and their comments were heard. So, Councillor Kasenberg, go ahead, please.
Thanks. I'll take a second crack at this. I think my only concern here is that there may have been some marketing that's gone out that calls this an open house, but I feel reasonably strongly that council's intent was expressed last time, and that this should probably be an approach, a structured program of receiving delegations or receiving input. Again, I kind of advocate for my idea of having a question round and then a comment round. But I think that, to Councillor Mackenzie's point that open house conveys a certain attitude, there's nothing wrong with us correcting that at this point. It's, a week away, a little less than a week away, and saying that our intention is to have a structured program of input and call it. Change the name of it, issue a new marketing poster, whatever. But I do think that the structured program is what council intended in its resolution last time, and I agree with Councillor Eggett on that.
Okay, Deputy Warden.
In the special meeting, then we go back to Warden Trankowski leading the program. I do hear what Walter's saying, though, about people thinking, oh, well, is it really going to start at 6? So maybe the official part of it starts at 6:30. I mean, we are talking a lot of farmers that would be there. It is hard to get there for 6 o'clock for them. So maybe our meeting starts at 6:30, but we start gathering at 6. I don't know, that makes sense.
Okay, so noted. Writing some stuff down here. Okay. Anything, Councillor Smith?
Yeah, just to clarify then, through the warden, I'm totally fine with what we've got planned here. I'm not calling for a special meeting. I think our open house way to keep that set is the way to go.
Okay. So I guess to try and string this together. So a public meeting is, I guess I'm looking for some direction here. Are we favoring a public meeting as opposed to an open house? I guess that's the first question. Because a public meeting would require us to go towards our procedural bylaw as opposed to the open house, which wouldn't. Right, so I guess that's the first question I'll ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, as I said through the warden, I don't think a public meeting's needed. I think what we've got set up is the way to go.
Councillor Duncan.
I feel we should leave it as an open house, but advertise it as we're running a structured open house. There's going to be a structured agenda with this open house, and it starts at 6 o'clock. Be there.
So a structured open house. I gotta start a new page here. Structured open house. Doors open at 6?
6 o'clock, that's right. Want to get started at 6:30, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Doors open at 1800, the military time clock. The actual program, called the program starts 18:30, 6:30. Okay, so it's a structured open house. Now, chairing meeting. I'm prepared to, as I mentioned before, give opening and closing remarks. But the actual management chairing of the meeting, so to speak, how do we want to proceed here, Councillor Will?
I think I'd like to see Tyler chair it, or if they can come up with a staff member they feel would be more comfortable or confident on timeline and bring that individual in. But I think I'd like to see staff. And Tyler likes to speak, so.
I also like to listen. Am I sensing eagerness?
Yeah,
Yes. All right. So, the meeting would be managed, the center of the meeting would be managed by staff?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the presentation format would follow similar to the lower tier formats, the three, like Tyler would give his part, our tree inspector would give his part, the prosecutor would give his part, and then open the floor. So we're fine with that segment? Go ahead.
I have a bit of a problem because it was perceived that there was some intimidation when it was presented to Perth South. And so I'm not sure, I think we want to ensure that it's received as presented as an information meeting, not as intimidation.
Yes.
And so I don't know if some of the comments have to be heard, whether, for example, fines of $500,000 not brought up or whatever. But I think we would prefer to have an information, not intimidation.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, Councillor Wilhelm, any reference, kind of going a little bit lawyer-like here, but any reference to any other cases out in the universe shall not be quoted or cited. We'll just stick strictly to the factual information that the prosecutor might have without wandering off into other things.
Yes, if I may, I think it's important that the public realize these are the steps to happen. And not necessarily fines, et cetera, but these are the steps that happen.
Yes, and strictly limit the presentation to those steps.
Okay.
And not go beyond that into other areas. Okay. All right, so we've got I'll call it the three segments of the presentation. These are the steps. So now we get into where the public engages. It was suggested by Councillor Kasenberg that there be two streams. The first stream being questions. And then once the stream of questions was exhausted, then go to the next stream of comments. Councillor Duncan.
I'm in favor of that system, but if we're gonna do that, I want 3-minute limits on each of those.
Yes, and I was you reading my mind here a little bit. That was the next. I wanted to identify the streams first. So we're happy, we're satisfied with those, operating with those two streams.
You're using different colors then?
Well, we would do the question stream first. And once that's done, then we would go to the comment stream second. So like they'd be two separate activities. And it would be up to the chair to identify, if I'm reading things right here, we're going to enter the question stream first, and then go to the comment stream second. And to Councillor Duncan's point, 3 minutes, if everyone's agreeable to the 3-minute time limit, or then we would hold it to 3 minutes for people to make their point. And quite possibly, the same way that we do at council, our procedure is everyone gets a first round of questions. So, and then we go through once everyone's had their chance at a first round of questions, then we go back for a second round. So what I'm trying to get at is if someone uses their 3 minutes and they think of something else, then they go back to the back of the questions line or the comment line, whichever stream we're in, go back, yield the floor after your 3 minutes. Then if you got something else, go back to the back of the line and go through the line again. Then that way it's played out, that everyone is heard and everyone's had their chance. Does that sound fair? Or?
As long as you make that quite clear that there's two sections, there's questions and comments. people
Absolutely.
understand that, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of them won't,
No.
unfortunately,
And-
right?
and-
They're,
yes.
well, they got their mind what they want to say, and they're not always listening to the procedure. Like, I know what Todd's saying, but just that is quite clear that they're gonna have another kick at it later, right?
Exactly.
And
It
and
would
in
be
fact,
up-
if I might intervene, you can even impose a break between the two streams so that people can go back and get their tickets for the comment stream, right? So you
Yeah.
have the question stream, they've got an order that they've picked from tickets, and then there's a break, and then there's an opportunity at that break to get the ticket for the next round, and so forth, right? So, and it's good facilitation that is important here, because as soon as someone in the question stream starts diverting into comments, opinions, etc., you stop them. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. We have the right, if we're going to impose these kind of streams, to say focus on questions first. We will come back and let you have your say after the break.
Yes, and I kind of lost my thought there, but yeah, it would be as we're going through the streams, it would be up to the chair to monitor and regulate that. No, this is a comment, we're in questions. Please withhold your comment until we get to that stream. Yeah, and I like the idea of the break in between, and that kind of gives it a definition between the two streams. And Councillor Agus is quite correct. People will come to the meeting, they got something burning in their back pocket that they gotta get up and say it. So we have to be able to manage that in order to properly manage the flow of the meeting and the information. So, all right, so we're down to two streams with a break in between, a first stream for questions and a second stream for comments. So I'll go to Councillor Kellum and then Deputy Warden.
How are we handling duplicate questions? Because we sure will get them.
I would envision that the chair would indicate to the speaker that this is a duplicate question.
Okay.
And if it's a duplicate question, it's been asked and answered. If you have another question, please present it now or yield the floor. That's typically how I've seen it done in other places, and I would anticipate the same here. So, Deputy Warden.
It does, I'm feeling bad for staff because you don't know what kind of questions you're gonna get at. I'm a little worried about that. So we might have to defer some of the answers if we don't have them. And my other comment was.
Back to the line.
Go on to somebody else. I got one more comment, but I can't think of it right now.
All right. Okay. Anyone else? Councillor Duncan. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure, because maybe I have to get my procedural bylaw out, but it feels really weird for us to have an open house. Yeah, we're all there and we are chairing it and we do have a subject. So I just want to make sure that we're not breaking any rules. I just want that verified.
Well, and that's, I guess, in my initial proposal, that's why I sought the council of staff, both the clerk and our executive director, but I'll open up the floor to comments to staff now in that regard.
Yeah, so through the warden, the way that it's being structured this way, I'm more than comfortable. It's not a meeting, it's not a special council meeting. If we're gonna structure it a little bit differently, I think, again, having staff be the chair instead of a council member, I think kind of invokes a little bit more of a different kind of perspective. We're not furthering business. I don't envision back and forth dialogue between council and those answering questions. I believe that the intent, if I'm not mistaken, is that council would be there more as kind of information gathering and listening, just like some other individuals might be as well. They might not be there to provide question or comment, they might just be there to be educated. So that's my understanding of what the event is. And I would advise that this is not a council meeting, we're not advancing any business.
Okay, so maybe perhaps to that point, to change what I mentioned earlier, so it would be appropriate for council members to sit amongst the crowd, but
in the opening remarks, I would make mention of councillors. Like I would call out the councillors present, stand up, acknowledge the crowd, and then we would carry on that fast from that. Is that acceptable? Councillor Higgins?
I have another question. Virtually, will we offer anybody virtually to come in that night? I said, just when he was talking about the process here, like if the roads are bad or somebody that can't make it, are we gonna do that at all? Is that, like, you're gonna have the AV all set up anyway? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's a good question, because I don't think we'd really considered it before, but it wasn't, there's no snow on the ground then, but life is different now, so.
So through the warden, I think that the original plan of the open house looks a little bit different than where we're at today. And the intent was that we also have the online feedback form, which is a great opportunity for me right now to plug it. So perthcounty.ca/forestry, the feedback form is live and we have received some comments on there as well. So this isn't just the open house is your one opportunity to provide comments. I will also advise council that if anybody feels inclined that not to fill out the feedback form and they want to send an email directly to clerk@perthcounty.ca, I have received emails directly, which will be collated with all the feedback that we get from the public and form part of the report coming back to council.
Does that answer?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to see what my colleagues thought, if they thought it was okay the way it is, just leave it, or if they want people to be able to comment on the screen too. I don't know.
Oh, Councillor Katzenberg, go ahead.
Well, it will again sound like I'm being contradictory because here I am remote today. I'm not convinced that this meeting requires a remote connection because we're providing a form, because there's an opportunity to input to the clerk directly, and constituents can reach us, right? I mean, we're elected officials. They do reach us, and so I think there's lots of opportunity for inputs at this stage, and as we move forward and actually see a bylaw that's delivered to the table, there'll be opportunity on that occasion as well for further public input. So I think we're doing reasonable diligence here.
Okay, thanks, Councillor.
I'm good with that. I just wanted to make sure we had the discussion if someone asked. We all have the same answer, right? We had the discussion. We chose not to go that way.
Okay.
So.
Very good. I think we've come to the end of that, so I'll just quickly summarize. Structured open house on Wednesday, December the 10th. Doors open at 6 p.m. This is at the Perth Center in Milverton. Doors open at 6. The program starts at 6:30. Chaired by the staff. Opening and closing remarks by the warden. Chaired by the staff. We go through the 3 steps. It's a opportunity to discuss the changes to the bylaw, but also the current structure of the bylaw and any ideas that public might have towards revising the bylaw further than the proposed changes that already are been drafted. When it comes to question and answer and the comments, opinions, the chair will oversee the questions. There'll be 1 stream for questions, 3-minute time limit. That will be regulated by the chair. Repeat questions will be flagged and noted by the chair. There will be a break in between that stream and the stream that will be provided for delivery of comments and opinions. Closing remarks by the warden. I would also recommend perhaps a printed copy of the format be made available at a table at the front door that people can pick it up. Just like we grab our agendas, have them on our tables. People have the agenda, they can follow through the agenda and be informed that way as well. So, does all that sound fair? Okay, Thank you. No, appreciate your cooperation and input. It just, like I said, the timing was just a little bit awkward because we're between Warden Kellum and myself. So that's good. Thank you. Item 13, any announcements from colleagues today? We'll start with Councilor McDermott.
I was just going to raise some other business.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
getting ahead of myself again.
No,
I want to get ahead of myself from time to time, so.
Oh, that's fine. I had some people raise concerns about the roads on 107 and 119 service level. So I reached out to John, and I'd like to be able to give him an opportunity to bring that up today. And one person did say that they called in 4 times and they had trouble getting anybody to answer the phone. So I don't know what number they used, and I don't know what they were, but I'd just like to give John a chance to be able to update on the situation on the weekend.
Okay, thanks, Councilor McDermott. John, do you have anything for us on that regard?
Thank you, and through you, Warden Trentowski. We did declare a significant weather event on last Friday in the morning there. And maybe to clarify one thing, I think there are some folks out there who may not quite understand what the declaration of a significant weather event really means. It is when either we're seeing a forecasted or an occurring weather event that can pose a significant danger to the users of the roadway. When you do declare it, that basically suspends the standard timelines required for us municipalities to meet our winter maintenance objectives or the minimum maintenance standards. I can tell you our operations are set up to meet and exceed minimum maintenance standards. However, when we declare a significant weather event, that should more reflect a heads up that this type of event may affect our ability to maintain the roads at a service level that road users would normally expect. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we are not meeting minimum maintenance standards, but potentially this significant weather event could lead to that. If we are not meeting minimum maintenance standards, we're likely in a situation where there's a bunch of road closures. We are pulling our plows off the road because it's also the safety of our operators. We have to consideration as well. So I just wanted to clarify that with a significant weather event. We are trying to be a little more proactive rather than reactive. But again, that just depends on the type of event and how it rolls in. And certainly on Friday, certain areas of the county, we were seeing some very heavy snowfall in a very short period of time. And it was difficult to keep up. And I can understand road users. The plow may go by, and I can tell you all of our plows were operational that day and made between 5 and 6 runs throughout the day and each day on the weekend. So that more than meets the minimum maintenance standards and is in around our normal level of service. But in large winter events, yes, road users can likely expect that their normal service may not be quite to the level that they are normally expecting. So again, I reviewed all those the runs. We have 9 runs throughout the county. I can tell you that all our plows were out there, and we were making several runs throughout the day and into the evening. Just one thing, and I know service level was brought up. This, I believe, is my 22nd winter at the county. Certainly over the years, we've had to tweak our operations for scheduling. regulations like minimum maintenance standards, driver hours and things of that nature. But overall, our level of service and our operations have not greatly changed in those 22 years that I've been here. So the level of service that we offered, back in the early 2000s is very similar to the level of service that we offer today. If there is a desire by council to that level of service, staff would be more than happy to report back on options that we may need to do that. But let it be known, it's not just an easy procedure, and it's certainly not achievable.
Thanks, John. Councillor Smith, or I'll go to Councillor McDermott first. Any follow-up?
No, I'm happy with your answer. I figured that it was a stormy day, so I drove school bus for a long, long time, so I've seen lots of storms and rough days. So, but people did contact me, so I thought I would bring that forward so that you would know that.
Okay. Councillor Smith, go ahead.
Thanks, through to you, Warden. I get a couple calls within the lower tier in Milverton, but no calls around the county. I just want to give kudos to John's staff. Not only our internal snowplow drivers, we have some contract drivers. I've been driving around here the last couple of days, and I think the roads have been in great shape. If you see the advisories, the yellows, the orange, the new system, don't drive. Right. Again, kudos to John's team. They did a great job. I don't want to get up at 3 a.m. and go plow snow. So good on them.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Smith. And anything further for John? Councillor Eggets.
I'm sorry, I just want to say the same thing. You guys do an excellent job. Kudos to them. I echo Jerry's comments. Like, people need to slow down, right? They need to drive to the conditions. If they're going to work, and I'm glad I don't have to do that every morning, go 10 minutes sooner, right? People don't. Like, it scares me when I come into these meetings and you watch these people combing their hair and putting their makeup on and driving the car, and now we got snow on the road too. So, people need to drive to conditions, and I think you guys are doing a great job. And if you don't like it, stay home.
Well, thanks, Councillor Eggets. And yeah, I guess that this discussion reminds me of conversations I would have with a past general manager in the construction business, and it was about dealing with rivers and water, and it applies to winter snow and storms as well. These are situations you can't control. We can only manage them as best as we can. So we appreciate, John, the work that you and Bill and the rest of your staff do in that regard. So thank you. Okay. Anything else under the other business category, Deputy Warden?
I'm just requesting, I know Mayor Kasenberg isn't here, but could we have a group photo after the meeting?
Okay.
You have Todd on the screen.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Just one more piece of other business, as I overlooked it at our last meeting. Thanks to everyone. Perth Municipal Day. Thanks everyone for their participation and attendance, contribution to the event. Very warmly received. Excellent speakers, excellent agenda, and my compliments to the rest of the members of the Municipal Association on a successful event, and look forward to the next event, St. Mary's. Marg Luna, Councillor Marg Luna from St. Mary's is our now the president of the association, and look forward to setting something up, another excellent event for next year. So thank you. And I guess, and going back to our discussion on the forestry, the structured open house format, if ever this group wants to subcontract itself as a meeting planner for meetings in the construction industry, I could have used you about 20 years ago. So thank you for your cooperation on that. Next, announcements, any announcements from council? No, okay. So we do have a closed session, item 14, closed session meeting and reporting out. So I need a mover and seconder that the Perth County Council move into closed session at approximately 12:17 p.m. in accordance with section 239 of the Municipal Act, SO 2001, C25, as amended to consider a matter pertaining to negotiations CAO. Mover and seconder, please. McDermott, Councillor Smith, discussion, those in favor? It's carried. We will adjourn into closed session. We are reconvening into open session at 12:36 p.m., having dealt with the closed session matter under 14.1. So now we move into the confirmatory bylaw on item 15.1. The motion reads as follows, that bylaw 4050-2025, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Corporation of the County of Perth at its regular meeting held December 4th, 2025, is read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed December 4, 2025. Moved by Councillor McDermott, second by Councillor Wilhelm. Discussion, all the question, all those in favor, opposed, if any, carried. And item 16, seeing as council has dealt with the agenda items presented before it today, I call for adjournment of our regular council meeting at 12:37 p.m. Moved by Deputy Warden Orr, seconder, Councillor McDermott. All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.